It's that brain fog, that mental fatigue that so many of us feel.
Maybe it's something you're noticing more now that you're in your 50s or 60s, or, hey, maybe even younger. But this isn't about just getting older. It's really about learning to listen to what our brain is trying to tell us. And a lot of the time, those signals look just like this.
Today, we're going to dive deep into what that fog really is.
This video is made for educational and informational purposes only.
You know that feeling, right? You walk into a room and just totally blank on why you're there. Or you're trying to remember a name, you can see their face, but the name itself is just gone. It's that brain fog, that mental fatigue that so many of us feel. Well, today we're going to dive deep into what that fog really is, and more importantly, what we can do to clear it out.
And look, I get it. That's a question that can feel a little heavy. Maybe it's something you're noticing more now that you're in your 50s or 60s, or, hey, maybe even younger. But this isn't about just getting older. It's really about learning to listen to what our brain is trying to tell us. And a lot of the time, those signals look just like this. That super frustrating memory fog that just clouds up your thinking. Or a lack of focus that makes simple tasks feel like climbing a mountain. And of course, the classic struggle with names and appointments. If any of this is ringing a bell for you, trust me, you are not alone. These are really common
experiences many people share.
Now, it's so easy to just brush these things off as minor annoyances. But it's so important to understand what they could be pointing to. This creeping fog
May sometimes be associated with conditions worth discussing with your doctor, such as Alzheimer's or Parkinson's disease.
which are all about the slow loss of our brain cells, our neurons. And the scale of this problem, it's honestly staggering.
Over 6 million Americans living with Alzheimer's, according to the Alzheimer's Association.
And that number is on track to double in just the next couple of decades. So this isn't some far-off problem. It's right here, and it's touching millions and millions of families.
Okay, now this is the stat that really gets me. It's wild. By the time someone gets a formal diagnosis,
Research suggests a significant portion of neuronal changes may have already occurred, which is why early attention matters.
so what does that tell us? It tells us that acting early, long before a diagnosis is even on the table, is literally the most powerful thing we can do.
So, all right, how do you get ahead of the curve? Well, the very first step is to just get a better sense of your own cognitive health. And the good news is there are some really accessible tools out there that can help you figure out exactly where you stand right at this moment.
And you can start right at home, for free. The SCD checklist is basically just asking yourself, hey, do I feel more forgetful than other people my age? The Mini-Cog test is a quick little exercise. They'll ask you to remember 3 random words, and then a few minutes later, draw a clock showing a specific time. And there's also the SAGE test from Ohio State, which you can find online. These are all great ways to just check in with yourself.
Now, if you want to go a step further, a healthcare professional can walk you through some clinical options.
And as you can see, they cover a pretty wide range. You've got the MoCA assessment, which is super low cost and really great for catching things early. Then you can get more comprehensive testing all the way up to advanced brain imaging and these new blood tests that are looking really promising. This just gives you a lay of the land.
Okay, I know all of that can feel a little intense, but here is where the entire story takes a turn for the better. The science is incredibly, overwhelmingly clear on this. Cognitive decline is not your destiny. A different, sharper future for your brain is absolutely possible.
And the proof for this doesn't just come out of a sterile lab somewhere. It comes from these incredible, fascinating places around the world called blue zones. These are communities where people seem to defy the odds, living long, healthy lives with brains that stay sharp well into their 90s and beyond. This stuff is just amazing.
So what exactly are blue zones? Well, they're basically these geographic hotspots with the highest number of people living to 100, and they have incredibly low rates of diseases like dementia. We're talking about real places like Okinawa, Japan, Sardinia, Italy, and there's even a community right in Loma Linda, California. They're like living, breathing laboratories for healthy aging. And their secret isn't some magic pill or expensive technology. It's a blueprint, and it's built on these 4 simple but really powerful pillars. First, their diet is almost entirely plant-based. Second, movement is just a natural part of their day, not a chore they have to schedule. Third, they build these incredibly tight-knit communities. And fourth, they have a strong sense of purpose.
All right, so let's take those powerful lessons and mash them up with modern science to build our very own brain revival toolkit. These are real, actionable things you can start doing, like today.
Support and potentially strengthen your mind.
And it all starts with your fuel. So on the brain-boosting side, think of your brain's best friends, antioxidant powerhouses, like blueberries, dark leafy greens, and spices like turmeric, and fermented foods for that gut-brain connection. And then on the other side, well, the brain-harming foods are pretty much exactly who you would expect. Processed junk, fried foods, and tons of sugar. They all drive inflammation, which is
Considered a significant factor in brain health research.
You can also give your diet a boost with some smart supplements. You got the essentials like omega-3s, which help keep your neurons nice and flexible. Then you have these amazing ancient herbs like bacopa for memory and ashwagandha for chilling out your stress response. And newer research is pointing to things like magnesium L-threonate and lion's mane mushroom for some amazing brain benefits. But of course, you
Always consult your doctor or a qualified healthcare professional before starting any new supplement routine.
Next up, movement. And listen, you do not have to go run a marathon. Something as simple as a 30-minute walk every day is fantastic. The benefits are real. In fact,
Research, including studies associated with Harvard and UCLA, suggests that regular yoga practice may support focus, memory, and stress management.
And what's awesome is that there is a flavor of yoga for absolutely everyone. Chair yoga is gentle and gives you lots of support. Restorative yoga is phenomenal for calming your whole nervous system down. And if you're a bit more active, a gentle vinyasa flow can be great for your heart. There really is a style for every single body. So let's zoom out and look at the whole picture, the whole shebang. A healthy brain isn't just about one thing. It's a total system. We've hit diet and movement, but just as important are things like good quality sleep, a strong sense of community, and managing your stress. Simple things like box breathing, where you just breathe in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4, can make a huge difference. And please, whatever you do, do not sleep on that community piece. Just look at this number. Being part of a group, volunteering, or even just having regular meals with people you love
May be associated with a reduced risk of cognitive decline. Some studies suggest up to 30 to 40% lower risk, though individual results vary.
Connection is literally a shield for your brain. So, if there's one message I really want you to take home today, it's this. You have the power to rewrite your brain's future. It doesn't matter if you're 40, 60, or 80 years old. It is truly never too late to start making these powerful, positive changes.
And this isn't just some wishful thinking, okay? This is what I call the science of hope. We now know about neurogenesis, which is just a fancy sciencey word for saying
Research suggests the brain may retain some capacity to support new neural connections, even in adulthood.
we know that things like exercise boost a molecule called BDNF, which is literally like fertilizer for your brain. And we're just scratching the surface of how a healthy gut leads to a healthy mind.
And that brings us right here to this final, crucial idea. Your brain is not some machine that's just destined to get old and rusty and break down. No way. It is a living, breathing, dynamic organ that can respond and adapt,
Even show remarkable resilience.
So the only real question left is, what's the first small step you're going to take today? Is it adding some blueberries to your oatmeal, taking a 15-minute walk after lunch, or maybe just picking up the phone to call a friend? The power to build a better, sharper brain is in your hands, and it starts right now.
This video is for educational and informational purposes only and does not constitute medical advice. Always seek the advice of a qualified healthcare provider regarding any medical condition or treatment.